Hi, this is David with entry number 800, 15. I'm here at Marina Bay, which is kind of a big, famous, kind of touristy area. Right there is the Marina Bay Sands Hotel and Mall and Casino. It is probably one of the craziest things to see here, in terms of just like the ridiculous nature of it. It's a very, very difficult thing to kind of photograph, because anything you do will kind of be much less in powers of magnitude than when you actually see it in person. I mean, the bay itself is quite a stunning thing that's very hard to kind of describe. It's just, billions of dollars of business, and it's quite a stunning thing to experience in real life. And I feel very fortunate to kind of have the opportunity to do such a thing. Today's Friday. It's currently drizzling, which I fear may turn into full-on rain, so I'm going to try and keep this one relatively short. Going through some things at the moment with the hostel. There's a lot of people there, and like I said before, things are generally good, but when there are a lot of people there, it makes things a lot more difficult, just in terms of logistically keeping it clean, keeping people fed, selling tickets, keeping people happy, dealing with the owner. Not that any of these things are like huge deals per se, but it's just kind of annoying to kind of have to, not annoying I should say, but a little bit of a chore, or a job I should say, keeping everything equalized. All that being said, it is enjoyable to kind of deal with people in the fact that very rarely do you find that you get assholes. Oh, there's a turtle floating in the water right now. But speaking of assholes, there last week we had the fortunate gift of being visited by a Chinese woman, and it's a very fascinating thing to kind of deal with them in terms of service, because they are so service oriented and also not service oriented as a people. Generally, I find in my experience that you can be very direct with the Chinese. You don't have to kind of mince around and be polite and worry about offering them like super cordial service. They're not so obsessed with the idea of couth. You can kind of just say what you want, and just as long as you're not bullshitting, just kind of speak straight, which I like. But by that same token, because they're so because their sense of cordiality or whatever isn't very important, they will also be very direct with you in many regards. And directness in Western society is often perceived as rudeness. So it was fascinating kind of working with her. And she was here on a job or something, so she was very let's call it driven. And it was just interesting getting to kind of be exposed to that kind of lifestyle and culture, something that I'm not really used to, but it is, in small doses, it is more interesting than anything else. Currently, now to switch gears, there's a big movie coming out this next Friday, I think, or next Wednesday, called Marvel's Captain America Civil War. And if you look over here, the camera will expose, that's Spider-Man right there. They're doing a big, really expansive kind of campaign for the film, and that includes renting out a big area at the hotel, like a big main stage area, and having little people dressed up in costume run around, and it's a pretty interesting thing actually. But it's weird how how Western things are here sometimes, because it is a very Western thing. Obviously, Marvel films, comic book movies, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good though. It's good. I think it's better to be westernized than whatever you want to call the opposite. But anyway, that's about it for today. It decided not to rain, so that's good. It stopped already. It's kind of puzzling why they even have sprinklers here, because it does rain so often that, and the humidity is so high that I would assume that the moisture level in the soil is very stable. But anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I apologize if this was a bit of a boring one, but it feels good to sometimes be able to kind of just speak and not have a theme or whatever. And I know in the last couple of weeks it's been more like that anyway, but it's just sometimes good to kind of be able to speak to the phone or whatever without having to kind of think so much. And that's kind of what I'm doing when I'm at the hostel quite often, is kind of trying to maintain a positive, kind of like a positive personality type or whatever. So it's good to have some variation. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye.